Hello, everyone, and welcome to Too Stupid to Live, the smartest podcast ever about budget-friendly romance novels. I'm your host, Becky Feldman, and do you feel it heating up? Does it feel like, to you, the dog days of summer? Or is it a hot as hell with TSTL episode? For you new listeners out there, Hot as Hell with TSTL are special episodes where I interview your favorite and soon-to-be favorite romance authors about their latest releases, hot off the presses. And for you old listeners, it's the show's the same thing for you too. And I am especially excited because author Andrea D'Alessio is here to talk about her newest romance novel, Hold Me Instead, which I still cannot put into words how meaningful this book is to me as a romance reader, and also a romance reader who happens to deal with pelvic pain. For me, like, the inclusion of pelvic pain in a romance novel feels like a total game changer. Like, I feel like I know how everyone felt when, like, bread became sliced. Maybe that's just my generation and the fact that, like, I don't have the lifespan to read every romance novel published ever, but it's just really refreshing to see that type of representation in a genre where I never thought I would ever read anything like this. So yeah, my mind is blown. My mind is blown. I have a blown mind, and you know what? It's pretty satisfying. So please grab your tall drink of water, metaphorical or literal, and enjoy Andrea D'Alessio getting hot as hell with TSTL. Oh my goodness. Andrea. That's how you say it, Andrea. Andrea.
Yes, it's close.
I've been reharsing all day.
Oh, no.
Andrea.
I know. It's okay. I'm used to it anyways, so.
I mean, what was, like, at least it wasn't like Aldrich, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, I said the letter, like, yes. I said the letters, so.
It was very close. It was very close. I know, there's always slight variations. It's okay. I'm totally used to it.
Oh my God. You're the coolest guest already.
Because of my name?
Yeah, I mean, just being so cool about it, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Well, actually, it is a pretty cool name, though. Like, it just, like, is, I don't know. It sounds like...
I had classmates correcting new teachers by the time, you know, in grade school. They started doing it, like, for me. I mean, I was very shy, too, so... You know, that played into it. They were probably tired of it. And then in high school, I had this girl who was like 90210 Andrea. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm not allowed to watch that. Take your word for it. So it's a conversation starter, I guess.
It truly is. I mean, we could talk about the Andrea. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, you came out with a new romance novel called Hold Me Instead. It's about two veterinarians. So I feel like the most important question I have to ask is, are you a dog person or are you a cat person? We need to know right now.
Oh, gosh. I can't pick between the two. Oh, so we didn't grow up with pets. I'm the oldest of 5 kids. So my parents were like, that's plenty. And all of us, I think, are allergic to cats. However, we have 2 cats. Yeah. And we did have a dog who is the major inspiration for the dog in the book, actually. But my husband and I adopted her as a senior, and we had her for 4 years. So, but yeah, I don't know. I can't choose between.
That's the right answer.
Both special. Yeah.
Yes, that's the correct answer.
Yes.
And honestly,
are you one or the other?
I love pets. I'm not allowed to have pets in my building, even though I probably could pretend to be like, I need emotional helper.
Yes.
I feel like I'm more of a dog person, but I do like cat art. Like, I love cat trinkets and like...
I love it.
So it's very weird. So I think I'm a bit of both too.
Yeah. So do you have like a ton of trinkets and knickknacks placed around your place?
There's like a cat box there, a cat humidifier there, like over there there's a picture of like a girl.
A cat humidifier?
Yeah, a cat shaped humidifier. I mean, it's for babies, but I needed I mean, it's for like, it's a kid's humidifier.
Oh my gosh. I want to look this up now. Like, how did I miss that?
I saw it at CVS
really?
I just needed like a humidifier and I'm like, what am I going to do? Get the boring one or the cat one?
You made the right choice.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
yes.
so much.
Yes. Yes. Does the book give off that I prefer cats or dogs over? Yeah. Okay. Good.
Absolutely not. I mean, this is
Okay,
kind of
good.
what I've loved about it, is because like I feel like I could be wrong, but traditionally, like, there's like kind of like this gendered kind of thing of like women are into cats and men are into
Oh,
dogs. And
yeah.
like, I just like specifically, I guess maybe seeing the characters in this book interact with all animals so lovingly, as opposed to like, oh, I don't get cat. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
there wasn't any sort of divide, and I kind of believed I did not get like a side was winning at all.
Oh, that's good.
Whatsoever.
That's good. That's very good. I wasn't even thinking about that, actually.
That's so
I'm like
funny.
relieved to hear.
Yeah, and honestly, like I feel like I mean, I'm not, this isn't the hill I'm going to die on, but like, you know, all animals are special except for like the gross ones. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like bugs, I don't like, but like all
Yes.
animals are special. And
very
snakes.
true. Very true. Yeah. and snakes.
They're terrible.
Yes. Yeah. No, I agree. I love animals. Any animal video, I will stop scrolling and watch it. So
yes. Did you see that there's going to be like a cat video festival at like Vidiot's this weekend or something? It's just like a bunch of like the best cat video, and they're doing like, it's this big screen. Like,
really?
yeah, cat videos. I'm like, should I go to it?
I don't know. There's a lot to choose from. How do they narrow it down? I wouldn't even know where to start.
What if it was like the film festival's 7 years long and it's just
yes,
like
exactly. Everything that was entered gets featured.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Exactly. Okay, so yes. I want to know about you. Okay. Tell me about your background. You are living out in Los Angeles. You were working in the entertainment industry, but basically you were born and then like you wrote a book. What happened in between?
Yes, a couple things
sure
happened. So I'm from Wisconsin. I grew up in Milwaukee. And I moved out to LA after I graduated college. So, let's see. Oh my gosh, that's already a jump. So sure. I grew up reading a ton. I realized early on that I actually wanted to write books, but it kind of evolved into wanting to write for the screen. And so that's what led me to studying radio, TV, film in college. And yeah, so I actually met my husband in college. And then after we each graduated, you know, we were each moving out to LA, and I worked in the entertainment industry for about 10 years in production, which is not the creative side.
Right, of course. Yeah.
I learned a lot and, you know, met a lot of really great people. And, you know, being around that was still very exciting. But I got into both sides of things in school, and that's just the one that I kind of started on while I was out here. And yeah, after 10 years, I realized, okay, I need to get back to the creative. It's like eating me up inside.
Yes. Yeah.
And yeah, so then I stepped away. I also was going through a lot, like mentally and emotionally. So it was a good reset, important reset. And during that time is when I started reading romance. And yeah, after just like devouring the genre, my husband came home from work one day and I was like, I think I have an idea for a series. And he was like, okay. Yeah, so it's just been yeah, I guess that's the writing side of it that I gave you the recap on.
Yes, no, I love it because like I feel like I feel like romance has always been this constant thing for me of like whether I'm in transition, whether I'm going through a low, you know, and there's always like a certain like, I don't know, like when I was at my deepest, darkest depressive state, like I was like romantic suspense, just devouring, you know, a specific author. So like, was there like a specific kind of like author or subgenre that you were like gravitating towards where you're like, I know that this is going to be my jam? Didn't even open the book yet.
You know, I didn't I didn't really know where to start. So it took me a while. And I think I was getting into it in my 20s. And so, Kindle Unlimited and Kindle was just like really exploding. So there were so many choices. And so I just started like wading through. I got really into Kristen Proby. I started Jenny Colgan, I think too. So I was reading kind of a range, but it was always in the contemporary romance side of things. That's just what I always loved mystery growing up. So I'm actually very interested in diving into that soon. To read it, but also I have some story ideas down the line. But yeah, contemporary romance has just been it for me.
Yes. I feel like lately this summer, reading a really nice, like your book, like a contemporary romance, small town, has just been this like kind of balm for my soul lately, and it's just like, just something really just really, 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 really cute,
Yes.
It's just exactly what I need.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I think too, I am someone who cries, and I like to cry. That's one of the things I love about reading is all the emotions that you're feeling just within 300 to 400 pages, whatever. But contemporary romance is, it's going to be happy. I mean, romance, the genre overall, but yes, that's just something that I needed. I liked the realness that you got, the characters being flawed and or struggling with something and still knowing that they're deserving of love, and so yeah, just all of that overall. But I mean, there's so much I haven't tapped into to read. I mean, we can never run out of it, which is amazing.
Yeah, like I feel like it's gotten to the point where it's like, oh, reading every romance novel is like meeting every person in the world. Like you're never gonna count. It's never gonna, and I think it's like also so exciting, and like it almost like is like, oh, okay, like it really feels like, and you can probably speak to this, of just like how welcoming it is to new writers, no matter when they get into the genre. There's really no gatekeeping. Maybe I could be wrong, but that's what it feels like.
For reading the genre, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, so many choices just all around. Yeah, different age groups of the main characters, but also fantasy you can just dive into anything.
Yes, absolutely.
So, yes.
Yeah. So you made this decision, I am going to write a book. Your husband came home. You said, I have a book.
Yes. Yes.
Talk about that process.
Oh, yeah. So the series overall has been, it's been 6 years, I think, since I really started working on it. Has evolved a lot, obviously, in that time. And because it was really my first jump into the genre, I have little bits that I started of different characters that I was trying out as I was learning, like my core females of the group. And so I even entered a couple of contests and stuff just to get some feedback, and also just have someone read my work after so many years of me not writing. And that was the other thing too, is like, we had so many required books that we had for school. My reading for fun really fell away, and writing kind of went with it. And and I think back to college too, and I had some things that I needed to work through that probably was playing into like a writer's block, but I just felt very nervous this whole time about how long it had been since I had written. And my husband is a writer as well, and he, over the years is like, we should work on something together. And I was like, I need time to get back into it before doing that, So being able to enter some of these contests was like actually very helpful. Just getting comfortable with people reading it, even though it's still terrifying.
I mean, I'm sure. Yeah.
And the characters, like I was saying, have evolved a lot. And I started one like with one novel before I really was diving into the series, and none of those characters are in this, but it was a really good practice and, you know, getting comfortable, finding my voice and everything. Charlie was not going to be my first book. Charlie was not going to have vaginismus herself. All of that came after years of therapy and everything too. Because initially I remember sitting down talking to my therapist, and I was telling her I was very excited. You know, I'm going to have a character who is a PT, and she's going to treat pelvic floor dysfunction. And she was like, okay, what about her having it? And I was like, what? You know? Yeah. I was like, no, that's scary. That's too close, which means you should do it, you know, when you really think about it. So I needed time to let that sink in. And once I wrote the first draft, I did a second pass pretty quickly. And I'd have to look back now. It was like early COVID though. And then I had to pause. I was struggling a lot with writing, and working on the story in particular, because it is so like personal, like emotionally tied. And you know, reading it myself, I was like revealing a lot, or, you know, really made me examine different things and confront it. And so, yes, with COVID, it was just a very difficult process. So anyway, the book has sat for a little bit with me slowly doing revisions and everything. But last year, so I had, we had our first little guy in the end of 2023. And so last year I had originally hoped to publish it, and it was not going to happen.
We had a real baby. You had a real baby, not a book baby.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
Understandable.
Yeah. Yes, there were a few things going on.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
But it did help me go, okay, I'm going to at least get lined up with my editors and everything. So that helped me really dive in with deeper revisions and everything like that too. So that was very good. And, you know, now I'm at this point where I'm like, okay, I'm ready to put it out in the world. So.
Yeah. I mean, this is honestly like super, super mind blowing for me, is seeing a character with pelvic pain. I've had pelvic pain since I was 14 years old. Yeah. When I was in my lowest kind of depressive stages, you know, I feel like my struggles with pelvic pain did kind of contribute to it. And I was reading romance to kind of get out of that phase. And like never, like you're gonna be my new cult leader now. But like but I just like I
big responsibility.
I mean, it really is. You have to take it on. But I just like don't like this. It is groundbreaking to me that there would be a character with vaginismus in a book where sexual pleasure is kind of such a tenet. And like sometimes, you know, part of the reasons why we gravitate towards romance. And like my jaw was dropping. Cause like, I mean, I'm like 40 years old. I've been reading romance for years. And like, I don't know. It just means so much to me to kind of see, well, I'm going to start crying. This is insane. But it just means so much to me to see something like that, you know, because I always thought there was like this divide. There was like the horny side of me that was like, I love smut, blah, blah, blah. But then there was like the broken side of me that was like, I can't have sex. You know what I mean? And to see it like be like, no, you can, is just like beyond.
That means a lot. Wow. Yes, that really means a lot. I'm going to be taking a moment to process
I know. I realized I was just like, I told myself, Becky, ease into it. But then I was like, no, I'm just going to say it right now.
I will tell you though, it really means so much to me. I felt a big responsibility writing this story, even though it is something I have been struggling with as well since I was also a teen. At least I didn't even know what it was at that point.
Oh, sure.
But
yeah.
That's definitely what it was. And then after speaking with you and knowing that, I was like, oh God, I hope that, you could connect with it. It was really what I was hoping.
Oh, yeah.
That means a lot. I thank you.
Oh my God. Well, thank you.
It took me a long time to feel that way myself. Like I went through the same feelings and concerns and struggles that you mentioned, and didn't know for a while, what that would mean, or with the way society is.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like that is lowering your value somehow, when really it's not the case at all.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, and what I loved about it was just how horny Charlie is. Cause like, I think like how, like, and like, she just like wants to get it on. And I think that like what has just kind of been, which I'm imagining other people go through this, when maybe even like in our generation, when we don't know what's going on when you're like in your 20s trying to have sex, and the level of gaslighting that can happen, it makes you like, for me, I internalized everything, right? So I was just like, oh, I'm not a sexual person. Maybe I don't like sex. Like maybe this is, but then here I am gravitating towards these books. Maybe I'm only a book reader or whatever. I don't know what that means. And so
I understand
like,
what you're saying.
Yeah. And so like, to kind of like, I guess maybe even in relationships, having to kind of prove to whoever you're with that, no, I am turned on. I feel feelings of arousal. It's my body that's just not kind of up to par.
It's and not cooperating.
Like, not cooperating.
Yes.
And like, I'm kind of like, it's just like, I don't know, even that, just like reading the descriptions of what she's feeling in her body is like horny and fun as it is. I think that to me is revolutionary, like, because I think that like, it's so easy, to be painted as whatever we fear, and to see it kind of be put into like a really, 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 really sweet romance novel that like just is like candy. It's just like, it's groundbreaking.
Oh gosh. Thank you. I am, I'm like overwhelmed in a good way. I appreciate all of that. That is, those are all wonderful things that you have said. And I was thinking about this. I was talking to my husband too, and I was like, one of the things that I want to share is that she had this whole journey of getting to this place, but I wanted to show this part of it, because that was important to me. And it was in terms of, the genre, it wanting to write spicy romance. Then that was important. But also for me, that was a big deal in knowing that you can overcome it, and that you can have those same feelings just like anyone else that might be experiencing it. And I don't know. I think I'm all over the place right now.
Okay, we will get you in one place right now. Okay. Okay, I do want to ask though, when you were first getting like kind of feedback on seeing a character with vaginismus from an editor, from a proofreader, like I am so curious as to what those initial reactions were.
Yeah. That's a good question. So I had some beta readers who had or have a similar experience. So that was really great.
Oh, good.
To be able to get the feedback and know that they were connecting with it was very important. And when I reached out to my first, I had two different editors, and my first editor for the developmental edit too, I told her about it, and she did something, which was great on her part too, is that she looked at my initial, reaching out and when we had our video call, she was like, oh, so I looked it up. I didn't know what that was. And I was like, that's amazing. I'm so glad that you did that. And so she just was very supportive from the get-go, of course. And, very curious about it. And then my proofread editor was immediately excited because she was familiar with it in pelvic floor therapy and everything. And so even before, and she and I only just recently worked on it together to do the proofread, but this was over a year ago, I think, that we booked this time. So she just has been supportive this whole time, which has meant a lot. I think too, the fact that I was slowly starting to tell more people in my personal life, and so that's the other part of it, is it was something I kept very private until recently. Only a few people knew, and that was just what I could do comfortably, organically, and things like that. But yeah, being able to talk about it in a work sense and a business sense, and with people who know the genre and understand that, I don't know, I feel like they were just a great fit for the project to be able to go, oh yeah, okay. They were just very open-minded and non-judgmental. But I think that is also coming from my own fears of talking about it, that I would even be clarifying that right now, they were great, and and supportive, and commenting on it as they were reading, like, oh, I didn't realize this, or so yes. Did I answer your question?
Oh my God, 100%. Because like, this is what's so fascinating is like, so like, again, like, not that you were like shopping around for editors and proofreaders, but did you like you needed to find someone that, like, honestly, someone who Googles something is like the sexiest thing in the, like, when like someone does it, when they Google something, I'm like, that's like amazing. And it's the easiest thing to do.
Right. No, but to know that they're putting in the time that showing that extra step that they care. Yes. It does mean a lot. I didn't know for either editor going into it, like, if they had exposure to this specific to pelvic floor dysfunction in general, but also their backlist, or the work that they had wasn't like leading me that way either. So I had gone with my first editor, was like a panel that I saw a bunch of editors on, and I don't know, I just had like a really good feeling about her. And then when we connected and stuff, that went so well. And then my proofread editor was a similar thing, like researching and trying to find somebody. And I don't know, it's an interesting question though, because I had not considered it for something that I was so careful with my whole life. It's interesting that I had not.
But like, did you like when I did my show for the first time, it was the first time I told a lot of people, and I like even like closest friends, like, and it 50% because I love attention, but also because I was
so like a grand gesture of
exactly.
It,
I like it. It allowed me to be in control of the narrative. Like, the spotlight is on me. I tell the story the way I want to tell my story, and like that's how I feel the most comfortable talking about it. And I'm like curious if you kind of felt a similar kind of comfort in telling your story in a genre that you love and know so much.
I think what it did was help me kind of heal up some of the parts that were still struggling, or it was kind of hard to write in a sense, because I think I was still processing a lot of it, and at the same time there were some scenes that were just hard for me to go back and reread and edit. So yeah, I think what I love is the moments between Charlie and Zachary where, you know, he's just kind of like going with the, like, letting her lead and seeing their connection and having their connection grow, that it made me focus more on that and what I was hoping for, which was that, you know, I didn't want the vaginismus to be defining her.
Of course. Yeah.
So so I think it helped me in doing it. I didn't find it easy to couch it in the genre, so to speak, but it kind of helped me get there.
Totally. Because like what I gleaned was like, okay, this is a romance story that's made, like, there a major theme is trust, and it's two people learning to trust each other, whether it's through the practice, whether it's through the relationship, and also through, like, and also there also happens to be a sexy part to it, you know? So like it all kind of
very
like,
slow burn.
It was I mean, I love, like, I'm always like, slow it down even more. We love a slow burn. And so like, so it felt like kind of you know, I guess with every romance novel, like, the sex is always just so it's just part of the plot. It's not like, you know what I mean? And so like to see like her learn to trust and to see her like making a choice to trust, I feel like it's just like there's a blueprint there that I think, like, just knowing a lot of people who go through this just will benefit from, you know, seeing like you made dilators sexy. They're the most unsexy things in the whole world.
That's awesome.
Yes.
They are very, they're just a tube of plastic.
Exactly. Yeah. They're like these weird medical things that are just like whatever. And then it's like, oh, they can be sexy. That's like insane to me.
I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. I mean, it kind of helped me feel a little better about it too, you know, that it was, Oh, I'm very glad that was the feeling for you.
Absolutely.
I think too, just being a part of that with your partner. I mean, obviously everyone can come at this from their own time and place, their own experience.
Sure.
This is obviously one circumstance, but yeah, that was an important moment for me, I think, to show that they had, to show the trust growing between them, and just to know that, you know, and that he was understanding and he was like totally fine about it. But all of a sudden they're like, wait a second, this is very intimate.
Yes.
So yes,
it was hot. Like, there was a part of me that was like, oh, like, do you think maybe this, like, given that, like, okay, they're medical people, even though they don't work with people, they work with animals. Like, do you think their character stories maybe allowed them to, do you know what I mean? Like, allowed them to be like kind of more open and understanding.
Yes. And you know, I think it was good. I thought about this a lot for her too. That there is that way of being clinical and approaching it that way, but the emotional side of it still gave her that extra hurdle to jump over. And I did feel that was still okay and like important, because it is very different. It's like, you know, any doctor treating a patient is, I mean, I know nurses and doctors or whatever who are like terrible at getting themselves checked.
Of course. Yes.
I'm not saying this about every nurse or doctor. I know I have to be careful about how I say that. You know, but I think, I think there's just a disconnect sometimes to what, even for me writing the book, knowing that it's a lot that I went through and experienced and felt personally.
Yeah.
There's still a spot that like compartmentalizes it. And so it's just, I don't know. I think when you're still working through a lot of it too, it I think I tangented from
No,
the original question.
This is good because it's reminding me.
Oh, okay.
I need this reminder. Well, like I think like for me, like, okay, like well, we're like writers, we read stories, everything has a beginning, middle, and end. But unfortunately, like real life, including pelvic pain, doesn't. It's an ongoing thing. You have your ups and downs.
Yeah.
And like I think that like what I liked about Charlie as a character was that she was at a very specific moment in her journey that it wasn't like, oh, she's just discovered vaginismus for the first time and her mind is blown. And not that that's, you know, not a story that can be told. I love those stories.
Yeah.
But just seeing like kind of like her, there's a level of where she's accepting it and where she owns it and she doesn't let it define her, even though it is like something that she struggles with. And just, I don't know, like, I guess like, I think for the longest time, like people, like when I would talk to other people about it, I would feel like I would be feeling infantilized or like I'd be like, oh, this woman is cursed with a tight vagina or whatever.
Yes, right.
And it's like, you kind of forget the humanity of it, you know, of like, these are people, you know, and we have like, we go through processes. So like to see her, you know, kind of be at the post Botox kind of stage, you know what I mean? It's so interesting.
Yeah. I mean, that, yes, it is a completely different story to pick it up from earlier, even deciding, or even in thinking about their characters from early draft, he was not going to be someone that she had been friends with before. And then I was like, no, I want that for the trust build to happen. You know, I wanted that foundation to be there, even if it's been a while. And it's just, there's again, I've talked with my husband about this story a lot. and to the fact that it wasn't earlier worrying about that. That I wasn't showing that part of it. And, you know, and he was like, but they're at a different, their relationship is different, you know, like, I mean, I met him, he and I were together while I was trying to figure all this out. You know, we've been together a long time. So this was a very different scenario to have Charlie and Zachary get together at this stage for her. So, I think it helped me to see it differently too, you know, again, I think it just was a little healing in a way.
A lot healing. It's like, it just reminds you, like, I think like, I mean, you know, working with like younger people who, like, it took me forever to figure out what was wrong with me. And now there's like these like 18-year-olds who could just get online and just like, they're already there. You know, it happens a lot faster, I think, with like a younger generation. And so like, I don't know, like, I think that was like kind of the right thing to do, because like, I don't know, sometimes like you feel like, I feel like for me, like when I was getting over like certain hurdles and I would get this procedure done and then I would be there and then I'd be like, well, now what do I do? You know what I mean? Just feeling so lost of like, well, what's the next step? Like the doctor's pushing me out, you know, taking my money, making me leave. I'm like, do I blah, 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 you know what I mean? And so I think like there's something really, really interesting about showing the struggles of like of being on the other side of maybe a big procedure, a big trauma, you know, of just like, how do I now thrive after I survive, you know?
Yes, that's very true. Yeah, the thriving, we want to see that with this story.
Yes. And she does.
And she does. Yes. She does. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, and to add to what you were saying too about the younger generation, being able to, my best friend too, after I like first told her about it and everything, she was like, you know, there's a whole corner on TikTok where these people are talking so freely and openly about this. And I was like, what? Like, that is wild to me. I can't believe that. And it's amazing. I'm so glad that people are able to access community about it, but also information. Because I don't know what your experience was, but I went through many a doctor to try and find someone who knew what I was even talking about.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You not only have to deal with doctors, but then also partners and like, you know, your own people in your own personal life. And like, it really is like, I mean, I could be wrong, but like the like going to 14 different doctors over 10 years is like, I hope, hopefully a thing of the past. But again, who knows? You know, and I guess it also kind of like depends on so many other different things. But it's interesting that like there's and not even just like pelvic pain related, but like there are a lot of people who like live their lives where the biggest mystery is like their own body. You know what I mean? And it's like their biggest like life question has to do with like how they are functioning. And like, I don't know, I think a lot of people relate to it no matter where the issue is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, society does a really good job of keeping us separate from connecting with our bodies, telling us it's, you know, not okay, or it's very specific for one thing or another. And and that which is also where a lot of the shame for me like built up at an early age. But yes, I agree with you. I think that makes sense. Everyone's got something they're trying to figure out.
It's true. It's like, you know, we all have bodies, you know, and like I have a feeling that like people are going to be like, I don't have the exact same thing, but I related to her character so much. Like, I feel like people are going to say that, you know, like, okay, my thing is different, but I don't know, just the process of kind of uncovering a mystery that it just, I don't know, that you have to deal with, that you have to live with, you know, is like such a common thing. This is so weird, but like, was there anything that like you were excited about sharing about, like, how do I like about vaginismus? Like, not something that's like, oh, this is nerve-wracking. It's like, I can't wait for people to know.
In the book, you mean? Like,
or in general, I guess. Yeah, I'm curious either way.
I didn't know if you meant like talking with you or I feel like my first draft of this was like expelling, like getting it out of my body.
yes.
But I think, to go back to the dilator scene, I think I put that one in. It wasn't, I don't know that it wasn't in the first pass. And I think I was glad to put that in because it did show, it to me represents all the work personally that I, you know, went through, which also not covered directly in the book, but comes with its own emotional toll and physically draining toll and everything. But that it was making that moment intimate and sexy. And so for me, I think that did allow me to go, oh yeah, just because this condition is happening or is here doesn't mean that we can't have this intimate connection, doesn't mean that she can't be sexy, you know, like that that side of it. So I think that is where that, I think I wanted to find that for myself in a way, you know, to know that I was like, no, it didn't take away anything. I mean, a lot of things, right? It depends on how much power we let it have, but I think that's something that I unintentionally, was excited about, I guess.
Yes. I mean, like, I was like, again, it is so exciting to see, just like in my own personal experience, not having the language to, I mean, I went through a phase of like not telling anyone, then oversharing, and then undersharing, and then doing that and doing this, apologizing nonstop, you know, and to see
for talking about it, you mean?
Oh yeah, or for having it even, feeling like I needed to like make up for it.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And doing things that like I don't know, like weren't me or not genuine, you know, it was genuine because I felt bad, you know.
Yeah.
And to just like, I don't know, just like I said, just like seeing her own it and be at such a like a I'm saying the word mature just based on my own experience, like just being a very like there's like I felt like I was so immature about it, you know, like when I was like not, you know, like kind of really when I was apologizing for it, you know what I mean? When thinking that like, oh, it's like I'm the loser at school and I'm like just lucky to be here, you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah.
No, I know. I mean, I don't think it was an immature approach, first of all.
Oh, well,
because
yeah.
I think but I'm saying that in like a like I hope no one made you feel that way, you know, because it's, again, I think it's like all these outside perspective or, you know, all these expectations that we think we're supposed to be living up to. And it's not like, they're not real. Like they're not part of the human experience. And, you know, and then everyone is having these like false connections or, not being able to connect on this kind of stuff when that it really is at the root of it for everybody, you know, all these different struggles. So, but I do also relate to that, like feeling like naive about certain things. Yeah. That it was, and that was frustrating or, you know, not being able to talk about certain, I mean, she has that scene where she's talking about it with her cousin. And, I mean, a lot of that was just like, oh yeah, okay, these are all of my thoughts and feelings about.
Yes. And she does it in such a chill way. Like I feel like when I would explain to people, I'm like, you know, like pistachio nuts that don't open, you know what I mean? Just like kind of being like, and then, okay, you know that episode of 30 Rock? Like it just like was like this meandering long thing, you know, and then just like, she just said the sentences.
Yes. You know, that is interesting too. Cause I think that scene was a lot for me to write. And it took me back to like the first person I shared it with. And that I was just like a bawling mess. That's how I was, just a blubbering mess about it. And she was so just amazing in her response, of course. And, but to think back to then, and then as I was sharing it more and more, and how much more calm I got, like, I don't know, there's just, you're letting out so much of that emotional connection to it, in the process. And we just do not have control over it sometimes.
Like, and we don't have control. Like, I think everyone just like we're raised to view sex in our own individual, very warped, fucked up ways. And when we have to like tell people something that's involving sex, our stories have to go through like that obstacle course of everyone else's weird shit about sex, you know? And it's like, okay, I am done like editing my version of myself to make you feel happy or whatever because you think the purpose of sex is XYZ. You know what I mean?
Right,
and like,
right.
It's hard. It's hard.
Yes.
Yeah. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Zachary, though. We're doing a hard pivot.
He is part of this book.
He is part of the book. This isn't just about my pelvic floor. Okay. I have to say though, okay, as much as I definitely related so much to Charlie, like she was like, I mean, I've never related to a character more. That said, I did very much relate to Zachary because he has this backstory where he made a choice where both personally and professionally, where he was making a choice that he thought was right at the time. And now is at a phase in his life where he's realizing, it all he kind of fell flat on his face. And like, I really, really related to that, you know? And I don't know if it was like, maybe like working in the entertainment industry when you're like, have these moments of like, what the fuck did I do?
Especially the current state of nothing happening.
And like, what was so interesting is like, you gave him a love story that like became undone in order to give him this other love story. And I'm just like curious about like how you built him as a character.
Like with his divorce as well in there. You mean it was all part of it for him. I don't, I feel like it just kind of happened as I was figuring out like, okay, I want them to have been friends before, but it's been a number of years. She's kind of had this whole life happen of going through, growing and figuring things out for herself. And I wanted him to have that too. And with the relationship with his dad and I don't know, it was just something that felt right. And I sometimes I feel funny like explaining it in that way, but I go with a lot of gut feeling with the characters too, with just knowing I wanted that to be part of his past. And I liked the fact that he had commitment under his belt, but also experience too that was balanced by their past friendship. So to know that he had that side of him, I don't know, it just kind of helped round him out for me, that he could be with her at the time that it made the most sense for them.
Yes.
As well. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Did you have to do like a lot of research as to how like veterinary offices work? Do you know what I mean? Like
so our sweet dog was a senior when we adopted her, and so we were there quite a bit.
Okay, so you had like
yes, which is what, so she passed in the midst of me working on the book, and then all of a sudden Maple really resembled her and everything.
She was so cute, by the way.
Oh, good.
My third favorite character.
Oh, yeah. It kind of became a tribute to our dog Poppy, I think, the story. But yeah, so we were at the vet all the time with her, and they're just amazing, the whole team. And so that just became a very heavy influence as I was building the world and the characters and loving animals. I just knew that I wanted them to be a part of it. At first, Zachary's story was going to be a little different. He wasn't going to be a veterinarian as well. And, so it was kind of fun to have all of that evolve over time. And then we have close family, close family, I'll say. Otherwise I'll start giving you all the distances,
Sure.
But yes, she is a veterinarian and she was amazing and let me interview her essentially.
Cool.
And ask her just a bunch of questions about, even down to the white lab coats and scrubs and everything. 'Cause I was seeing it vary between clinics and everything like that. So yeah, so it's actually really nice to be able to talk to her about that as well, because obviously going there with our dog did not mean I understood it.
Oh, of course not.
But it put me in that world enough that I was curious to learn more. And then I was just reading a bunch of articles and things like that too. Just kind of some of the nuances or little things that would come up, or scheduling things, or also people watching when you're at the vet. There's a lot going on, so so other client situations, are good research moments.
Yeah. And I mean, it's such a sweet place for a romance to take place in. And then also the town you created, like Charlie and Zachary's friends and family. Can you talk about like kind of painting the location, but also the people at that location that make up like their periphery?
Yeah. So it is set in Wisconsin. And Elmwood Falls does resemble an area near where I grew up, but it's just inspired by, I should say. It's more loosely, yes. And it was just a place as a kid that I always thought was really cool and very cute and quaint and everything. So that's just where that all started. And I come from a big family, and family is very important to me, but excuse me, but my husband and I have a lot of really close friends that are like family to us. Yes. And so I really wanted to dive into both sides of that, or at least touch on that. Now, Charlie and Zachary both have small families. So I don't dive into it in this series, but I have another one planned that will be large family. So that's just where I wanted to make sure I was kind of at least showcasing the found family. And now the fact too that Charlie is best friends with her cousin, and then her older sister as well. That was also just a lot of what my experience. Our cousins, we had a couple cousins that we just spent a lot of time with while we were growing up, and they were very close, like sisters. And so that was, that's just always been a very important relationship for me too. So yeah, I wanted to be able to explore that a little bit more.
Yeah. So I'm prying. Are they going to have their own romance story? Like, are there more romances in Elmwood Falls taking place?
Oh, yes. Book 2 is scheduled for next year.
Exciting!
I haven't announced it like officially yet, because I'll wait till people get their hands on this one, and then I can actually say whose it will be. Okay. But yes, I'm very excited I have everyone's story like pretty much lined up. And so, but I also have a spin-off series that will be Wisconsin, Elmwood Falls, and elsewhere. So, so I'm excited to kind of stay in the area and then eventually work my way out to LA.
Yes, go west, just headed west.
Yeah. Yes. We've got pockets in every, yes. So there will be definite return to Elmwood Falls.
Very cool.
Yes. Is there someone you're hoping for?
I really was hoping for Amber, the cousin. I don't know. I guess like I really liked her as a character. And then like, that was like the one where I'm like, oh, okay. You know?
Yeah. You're like, I'm ready for hers now. Okay.
Exactly.
No, that's good. I'm curious. And then, I don't want to give anything away, even though I want to talk about it.
Yeah. I kind of also wanted like an origin story of Zachary's, I was going to say brother and sister who are married to each other. No, sister and brother-in-law. Like, like I just wanted that, you know, it was just so, because like, I don't know, the kids were so cute and like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So sweet.
Yes. Yeah. Again, coming from a big family, and I just knew kids I feel like they're probably little kids in a lot of my books. So if that's not someone's thing, no, they're warned now.
Yeah. I mean, I am like all about like making the kids real, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I have a niece, I love her, and then just like seeing like, but you know, none of us are perfect all the time. And I just like, think sometimes like there'll be a kid in a romance novel who will like just say the right thing at the right time. And I'm like, no kids like that.
Yes. His niece and nephew are not giving him advice in this one. Yeah.
They don't say the smartest thing.
No.
You know, and they, as they shouldn't, you know, no one, like, kids shouldn't serve that role.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind though, because then if I do that in the future, I'll make it an extra like Easter egg for you specifically.
Ooh. Yes. So how many books right now? Like how many books do you have in the works? And like how are you organizing the creation of them all?
Yes. So indie publishing is, self-funded. So that will determine the pace of everything coming out. But yeah, we have 5 for this series.
Wow.
I've got a family of 6 for a second series.
Oh,
and then
my gosh.
My third series is like, I don't know how many people yet, but yes, and not everyone is completely mapped out, but I have at least a strong hold on their characters and what, some tropes that are guiding the way for some of them as well. But a lot of my Elmwood Falls series, which is this one specifically, mental health, women's health, that is a big focus for a lot of these stories. And then that's going to make its way into all of my books, I'm sure, at least the mental health side of it. I shouldn't say at least. It could be one or the other. I don't know. But that's just very important to me. So
yes,
and it also is helping me like process and understand myself as I'm, going through the stories. Yes. So that's the sibling one is going to be, I'm excited about that. That will be a very fun adventure. And now I'm one of 5. I'm the oldest of 5, but that's going to be 6 siblings because, I got to make it different.
Exactly. You don't want it to be too true to life. Totally get it. So like when you say like mapping things out, like do you have like what did like I'm like, do you have spreadsheets? Do you have like you know what I mean? Like what does that like what's your process in terms of like creating world building?
Yes. So I actually use the GoodNotes app on my iPad, and I just have created a bunch of notebooks. So I have like a master notebook on there. I also handwrite in like actual notebooks. I have like 6 on my desk right now.
I love handwriting.
I do too. That's why I like using GoodNotes because that's what I do. And and that way it keeps it all together for me because I can get very cluttered as a person.
Yep.
So knowing it's all in one spot, but still being able to pick a cute cover for the notebook
yes
on the device. But yes, so I do one master notebook for that series, and then each couple gets their own beyond that. I do a loose outline.
Okay.
I've always hated outlines, even in school, like when we first were learning about them in grade school.
Yes.
I hated them. So that has stayed with me. Okay. Yeah. So, but in the moment, I at least, what I'll do is if I am stuck on a specific scene or something, then I will go to my notebook and write out a bunch of my thoughts and organize, and then kind of outline in a sense in that moment too. So yeah, so kind of mix it up, I guess.
Yeah. That's so cool. Like I'm just like I'm so impressed. Like, I can't even remember to put on socks.
Yeah. I've been excited about it too because of when they really became like alive to me and being able to think about it. I write down the notes, but I don't really reference them very often because it's like once I write it down, that kind of locked it in. And then I can move forward or it'll change a little bit as I'm actually writing, but sometimes I go back through my notes and I'm like, oh yeah, I did follow this path or something, so it is interesting to see that, but also it's exciting to know that they're just like so vivid in my head. That
that is so cool. Like what you mentioned, incorporating like a lot of different tropes, and what are your favorite tropes, and have you gone into any of these ideas being like trope first, or are you character first, if that makes any sense at all?
Character first. Character first for Charlie and Zachary, for sure.
Yeah.
That's just how it happened.
Sure.
When I had to start doing marketing and everything and posts and stuff, I was like, what tropes did I do? And I got like panicked.
Oh my God.
Like, what did I do enough? Did I, so I definitely wasn't thinking about them very carefully when I was writing it.
Can I be honest with you? As a reader, if you could write anything and you could just be like, this trope is in it, and I'd be like, okay.
That's
awesome.
true. You know what I like too is that people are showing more microtropes or spicy microtropes and stuff. And I was like, that's good to keep in mind, because then I can know that if I only hit this like big one, if I have a couple little ones, or someone posted something else and I was like, oh wait, hey, my story does have that. I could actually start pitching this out there. So I like that there are different like tiers of it now.
There absolutely is,
because it like, does help.
Yeah, like I think like even though like yours is friends to lovers, there is a level of enemies to lovers, rivals to lovers in it, you know, just given like their arcs, you know, and it's like really like a lot of different trope. I don't know, like trope-esque, micro-tropes, whatever the term is.
Yes, and actually too, I was trying to figure that out when I was making my trope post, and I was talking to my husband, and I was like, but I don't know, like it's not really like enemies to lovers, like truly, like they've got, you know, I was like talking through and he's like,
He's like, oh my
you
God.
know, he was,
what are these terms?
He read it and he's been super supportive and everything, but it was all new to him. So it was but the beta reader side of it is very helpful in that sense too, that, you know, it's like I did make some adjustments too, where it was going to be more enemies to lovers. And then I was like, no, I just need it. I need to pull back on that and focus more on the friends side of it for them. But a little bit of a spicy kick to it. I love enemies to lovers. So
who doesn't?
That is,
yeah. And I mean, it's so interesting because it's like, it's like sometimes it can be up to interpretation, and like everyone's right, you know, like
that's true.
I don't know, like if it's like this is close proximity, this is a medical, like this is like, you know, it could be whatever you want. It could be whatever we want it to be. That's the joy of the genre.
Yes, it's, you know, it's so true. That is so true. Yes.
Okay. One more question I have to ask is, how did you come up with the title? I know it is a line of dialogue in the book, but it is so meaningful, the title of it, and I want to know how you derived it.
Yes, I had a different working title for a long time, and it was because I've been working on it for so long. Then another very popular book came out, and it was like not the same, but it was too close to it, where I was like, I cannot tread on that, you know. And then I was really panicked. So it did not come to me until I was just thinking of a lot of the themes that I wanted, that I was getting from my original title. The old one. I shouldn't say original, the placeholder.
Right.
And just focusing on that, and just trying to play around with how many words. I don't even remember exactly how I kind of like came to it, but I was very excited about it. And then I actually was reworking the scene that you're talking about, and that's when I was like, oh wait,
it is.
This is here. This can go here.
Yes, I found it. Yes. You know, it's so funny because I was talking to someone, like, you know, just in my pelvic pain advocacy group. I was like, oh, I'm interviewing someone who has vaginismus with their book. Like, what's the title? I'm like, Hold Me Instead. And they're like, that is the perfect title. Like, it's such a good. It's so good. Yeah. So you have fans already that I've gushed about.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
So remind us when it comes out, where we can find you, all that stuff. Do the, you know, the plugs that you're supposed to be doing.
Right. Yes.
So you wrote a book, by the way.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Oh my God. And it's going to be out in the world very soon, August 28th, Kindle Unlimited and paperback. And ARC signups are open right now. I think they close August 7th. So depending on when this does release, you know. But yeah, you'll be able to buy the paperback through Amazon, bookstores, things like that. So yes.
Well, thank you so much for doing this. I know I like dug deep, but I just
it was wonderful.
This was just so delightful to talk to you. And
same here.
Also like thank you. Just thank you for doing this. This is really I honestly like it's a game changer. Like even like for me, it's a game changer, and I'm imagining that there's going to be readers out there who are going to think the same thing. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
If you liked today's episode and want to support the podcast, consider subscribing to TSTL's Substack. There are free and paid subscriptions available, tstlpodcast.substack.com. And if you didn't like today's episode and you don't want to support the podcast, you're probably not listening to me talk right now, so I'll just leave it at that. Thank you so much for listening to Too Stupid to Live, and I hope you have a furry rest of your day.